Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this series, we are going to talk about the reasonable and also outrageous trim types in the 14th generation Ford F-150. Why reasonable and outrageous? Well, you can find some used XLTs for around $38,000. Or if you get a brand new F-150 Limited, those are going for $85,000. This is a massive price range, so what do these trucks come with? And what trim type is best for your lifestyle? With that, I'm going to cover most of the major features and compare the trim types, and hopefully that will help you make a decision. As always, Ries the Shop Dog will be getting a bone. This time it's an emu leg, and I think she likes it. The Ford trucks are the #1 selling vehicle in America, and it has been that way for a number of years. So we will cover the 14th generation, which started in 2021. So if you see any screenshots I make of the used car market, it's from 2021. Now, because it's a newish vehicle, you'd think there'd be resources online helping people compare all the trim types. Well, you'd think that, but if you Google F-150 trim types for research, you'll probably get these results. Click on the first link and you look at it and it says everything you need to know. So you're gonna think, I'm gonna get a lot of good out of this. Nope. You look at it, you click on it, and you get like zero information out of this thing. So I figured, all right, it's time to put a video together. So instead, where I got my research was through Ford's website. But Ford's website is really bad. So I need to add an important disclaimer to this video, which is I may get some details and some features wrong. So if you find them, comment below and please correct me. Here are some examples of why I was so frustrated with the tool from Ford's website. The comparison tool says, for example, the heated steering wheel is optioned into the Ford Raptor. But when you go to Ford Raptor's configuration tool, it says it is automatically included. The comparison tool also says the King Ranch is only offered in 4-wheel drive, but when you go to that tool, the King Ranch says it is available in 2-wheel drive. I found errors like this for every single trim type. Now here's another complaint. The comparison tool gives zero details about the features you're comparing. Some of it is confusing. If you don't know anything about Ford and you're reading the tool, it says a productivity screen or a capacitive screen. What is that? Well, it turns out the productivity screen is the gauge cluster, and then the capacitive screen is actually your infotainment screen. You wouldn't know that unless you dig down and do some more research. It's just not available to you on the comparison tool. The research for this video has not been fun, so again, comment below if you find an error. Thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you find value in it. So that's enough of the complaining and the disclaimers out of the way, so let's start with the F-150 XL. I sorted the features like I normally do in my other videos, and the F-150 has 179 features I had to compare against, so I picked what I thought was most important to most people. I also added another category called sub-trims, and I'll explain what I mean by that when I get there. All the trucks in this video will be the full-sized 4-door Super Cruise with a 5.5-foot long bed. The XL starts off at around $41,000. And since it is the base model, it comes with basically the bare minimum. The exterior has a lot of plastic and the 17-inch steelies. As you can imagine, the interior gives you just basic cloth seats everywhere. And for the performance, it comes standard with a rear-wheel drive vehicle and also a 3.3-liter V6 that has 290 horsepower. Now, I get it, right? That is not a lot of power for a pickup truck, but Ford does allow you to option in any of their truck engines, except for the Raptor engine, into any of their base models. So let's go ahead and look at those engine options. From top down, you get more power, but it also gets more expensive. Now note the bottom engine, that's the hybrid engine. Even though it costs $4,500 more to purchase, Ford is currently offering a $1,900 discount on their hybrid engine. This means effectively you're only really paying $2,600 to get this option. But another engine to consider is the reliable 5.0-liter Coyote V8. Sure, you are trading reliability for power when you go for the Coyote V8 over the hybrid, but if you don't need the 570 pound-feet of torque from the hybrid engine, then I would just get the V8. It's going to be a lot more reliable, and the fuel economy, even though the other one's a hybrid, they're really not that much different from each other. So personally, I would rather get a tried and true engine if I don't need all that torque. But there is one engine I would stay away from, and that is the 2.7-liter EcoBoost, because at the time of making this video, there's actually a recall happening right now. Now let's get back to the XL. The reason I call this next category sub-trims is because the packages are an all or nothing deal with Ford. For example, if you want to option in Ford's gloss black wheels into your XL, you have to option the entire STX black appearance package, which is a $5,500 package, and it also forces you to purchase the V8 engine. So that's why I call it a sub-trim, because the package just forces so many additional features and you can't just get one or two small things. Now, this is not true for all the packages, but just pay attention to, if you're playing with this tool online or you're trying to purchase a Ford F-150, that some of these packages might come with a lot more than you think it does. Now with these packages, there's also the FX4 off-road package. I want to touch on this because I live in Colorado and I see these FX4 stickers on the back of every F-150 near the bed. That's actually the FX4 decal, which means it comes with four-wheel drive and also a locking rear differential, which explains why everyone that does off-roading or overlanding would actually have that specific package on their F-150. And finally, the colors. The XL actually has a lot of color options, and only the Avalanche White, the Burnt Orange, and also the Area 51 Blue are forced into a specific package. Now, to conclude, the XL, I think, is, well, it's not just what I think, it's just true. It's a work truck. These are very common fleet trucks for construction sites, but I also think this is good for people that might own a small business. They're in the blue-collar trades, and they just want a truck for cheap, and they know they're going to beat it up, so the resale value is going to be very low. Now we're going to move on to the F-150 XLT. This is $7,000 more than the XL, which means after additional fees, taxes, or options, you are very likely looking at $50,000 for this truck. And this is the second cheapest trim you can purchase. We're already breaking over that $50,000 mark, which just shows how crazy vehicles are getting expensive these days. So let's go ahead and start with the exterior. Anything you see in green means this is a change and usually an upgrade from the previous trim type. You're getting a lot of chrome on this truck. You're getting 17-inch aluminum wheels and also fog lamps. The steering wheel is now leather, but it's not heated yet. The XLT does give you those dual zone climate control systems, and now you're getting a power driver seat, but everything is still cloth. The instrument gauge cluster is also upgraded to 8 inches, but everything else is pretty much the same. Performance is the same and the colors are the same. The only difference is that now you can get any color you want and you don't have to be upgraded into a special package. So who do I think this truck is for? It's kind of crazy to say this for $50,000, but I do think the XLT is actually the middle class truck. It's for that guy that works hard every day and just wants to have a nice truck for life, for work, and maybe some hobbies on the weekends. But they know that anything on the next trim type or higher, it's just financially kind of out of reach for where they're at in the moment. And based on the used car market, I think I'm right because the XLT is actually the most popular trim type. The XL and the XLT is what I would consider as the work trucks. Now next is the Lariat, a truck my father actually used to own. This, in my opinion, is the start of what I would consider as the luxury trucks. You're probably not bringing it to work because it's just too expensive to bring to a work job. You're gonna be afraid to scratch it or maybe muddy the nice interior. And then also, compared to the XLT, the Lariat is $9,000 more expensive. And with that, you're gonna get your LED fog lights, a more stylish chrome grille, and chrome trim. The tailgate now matches your body color, and then the wheels are 18-inch chrome. The interior is clearly much nicer. You have leather seats where the front are heated and ventilated. The driver has a power seat that also has memory settings. Both the gauge cluster and infotainment screen are 12 inches in size, which is the largest side offered by Ford. And the Lariat also has an 8-speaker system from Bang & Olufsen. When it comes to performance, it does have that 2.7 liter V6, which I said to stay away from, and also the chrome appearance is standard on the Lariat. Now finally, this truck does have the most color options out of all the trucks, and the Atlas Blue is the only color that is exclusive and tied to an appearance package. So who do I think is getting this truck? Based on the used market, the Lariat is still very popular, and I think it makes sense. I see it as that upper middle class daily driver that has most of the luxury features that people care about. Now, I personally would never daily drive a full-size pickup truck, but for the people that do, I can see why you are getting this truck. It seems very plush, very comfortable, very luxurious, and comfortable to drive around, haul your family, and it's also the last F-150 you can get before you're really starting to break into that $60,000 ceiling. For example, like the King Ranch. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break here for part 1 and then wrap up this series in a part 2. So go ahead and look out for that video. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.